watching Soleful Discussion.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today? Okay. All right. How did you and I meet right now?
I was just walking into the gym.
Getting that workout in?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I approached you, what did I approach you about? I gave you the 3 topics that we want to cover today. Do you remember?
You said health and honestly, that's all I got.
Okay, so your thoughts about the subject of feet, mental health, reflexology. Okay?
Feet?
Yeah. In terms of when you hear the word feet, what do you think about? First thing goes to your mind.
I'm thinking feet.
Huh?
I'm thinking feet.
You think about feet? Like,
yeah.
Do you think about pedicures? You think about, like, massages? You think about anything in particular?
I'm assuming maybe a fetish.
So you think about fetishes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No worries. We're going to ask you questions today. You just tell me your thoughts about how you feel about the subject, okay? Mental health, when you hear that, do you think about anything in particular?
Particular? No, I just feel like that's kind of a necessity more.
Okay,
Kinda
something
like,
that's
something everybody should kind of be on
focus
top of.
on.
Yeah.
Absolutely, cool. We're going to ask some questions about, like, dealing with, like, anxiety, depression. You just tell me how you feel about it once I'm asking, okay? And then reflexology, have you ever heard of that before? Does that sound familiar?
No, actually.
Okay, I bet you've heard of it before. I bet you just probably don't recognize the term, like, when you hear it. I'm going to give you the information today. You just tell me, like, do you think it's good? You think it's bad? What are your thoughts about it, okay? Cool. So let's start with the first question. How do you think we can improve mental health awareness, like, throughout the world? What are some things you think we could do?
Honestly, I want to say, like, start with yourself.
Okay.
And kind of make sure just the words that come out your mouth, the way you approach people.
Okay.
Say, just in consideration that there's hella, like, different perspectives, so everybody can take it a different way than
That's a good point. Yeah, you never know, like, what somebody else is thinking or how they feel about
they
something.
might see it in, like, a different angle than you're viewing it,
Very much so. I always use the example, like you could have 5 people looking at a car crash, right? And we might all walk away seeing something different, and it doesn't mean anybody's wrong. It just means that we all looked at something different.
Yeah.
Exactly. In your opinion, the world would be better if, just fill in the blank.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yeah. Remember, this is just your opinion. It's however you feel. Like, if there's something that you think that people could start to do specifically, like just like you kind of said with the mental health thing, but maybe there's something else that people could start doing on their own to just improve the way that the world is.
I want to say with every different aspect,
Yeah.
Like if you want to see it more cleaner, be more clean.
Yeah.
Pick something up, Like
Yeah.
you want to see people more nice or whatever, be more kind.
Exactly.
Like be open to it,
Kind of like that pay it forward, right?
Yeah.
You be nice
you
to
get
people.
What you get, yeah. You get what you get. There you go.
That's a really good one. If a friend or loved one was struggling with depression or anxiety, what is some advice you would give them?
Some advice,
Yeah.
No rainbow without the rain, you know what I mean?
Man, you coming with some good ones today, man. You must have woke up on that good side today, man. You got the good ones today. I love it. What are some things that bring you anxiety? You don't have to go too in depth, but just maybe surface level. What steps do you take to kind of like counteract what you're feeling like when you feel anxiety happening? Do you do anything to like help you out with that or anything?
I guess I do like a little technique where I kind of like with my fingers.
Okay.
Like this kind of calm me down a little bit. But when I get to that, because I don't really have too much anxiety, but if I feel like it or if I'm just feeling like, I don't know, like a little less than whoever's there, I kind of I'll check myself about it.
Okay.
There's no need to feel that way, like just, if you're not liking something, just work on it and then eventually you'll see it,
I like that, yeah, because just like slowing down, checking out what's going on, and then like asking yourself, like, why am I feeling like this?
Why are you, what's the issue?
That's
what's
really
bugging
cool.
You or,
I like that. If you could change one thing about yourself, right, and it doesn't have to be physical, but just in general, like maybe it's a behavior you have or anything like that, is there anything you would change?
Maybe anger issues.
Anger issues?
Maybe. Like, I'm pretty calm, but like, if there's an issue, I'm gonna act out pretty bad.
Are you somebody who's like quick to react? Like if something like happens, you react
on it,
and you ask questions later. You
but that's not always a good thing. Like,
no, it's not. Sometimes you need to think about it first and then okay, let me get into that. I like this. I'm probably gonna act up, man. Let me ask you this: when you think about your feet, you feel what? How do you feel?
My feet.
Yeah, when you think about your feet, you feel
I'm on the go. Like,
you're on the go. So you think about it on the go.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of aesthetics, do you think about anything there? Like, do you think you have nice feet? You think you don't have nice feet? Thoughts there?
I think they're alright. I think I have okay feet.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
regular feet.
Nice. Have you ever received compliments about your feet before? Has anybody ever said to you, like, hey, I think you have nice feet? Has that ever happened? Okay. And when you got a compliment like that, did it make you feel a certain kind of way? Did you think anything? How did you feel?
No, I mean, like me personally, I don't really like, I don't know, I think feet are just feet.
Okay.
You know, so it's not really anything. I'm just kind of like, oh.
So that's not like a compliment that would get you like, oh, okay, I'm
hype
excited
and
or
stuff?
anything. Like, yeah.
Nah,
You're kind of like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. How would you feel if a man gave you a compliment about your feet? How would you feel about that? If he came up to you and said, hey, I think you have nice feet. How would you feel about that? Neutral?
Yeah.
Neutral.
Yeah.
What about if a woman complimented you about that?
I ain't gonna lie, with compliments in general, like if
Okay.
a female compliments me, I'm more hyped.
You
than
feel a
when
little,
dude
I see. Why is that?
I feel like guys are easy. Like, not easy, but you know, they're gonna tell you, they're gonna sweet talk you to get where they were trying to go, you know?
Yeah,
But
they're like, you look cute and all this other stuff, but it's like, they're just trying to get at you.
Yeah, they probably tell that to the neighbors, you know? Like,
You're like, no, don't come at me with that. Yeah,
and
okay.
females are more like, I don't know, like, sad to say, like, there is more like envious towards like with females.
That's
and
true.
stuff. So if a female compliments you, it's like, oh damn, like
She really means it.
complimenting you.
That makes sense. That really makes sense. What are some things that you like to be complimented about? Like if somebody gives you a compliment, you're like, I prefer that compliment over all other compliments.
My personality.
Personality.
Character.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes so something a little deeper, not nothing like physical or anything like that.
That
Makes sense. What's one quality you would want in a potential partner? Like if you're gonna date somebody or start dating somebody, what's something you feel like they need to have? Honesty. Yeah.
I feel like that's just top tier. Like, you know, like it's you want something serious or you don't. Like if you don't, that's okay too. But say that.
Communicate it. That's really big. It's really big. How often do you get pedicures?
Pedicures?
Yeah.
Like every other week.
Every other week?
Yeah.
Okay, so every 2 weeks then.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any favorite colors you like to get? You like stick to certain colors?
White. Like, I do like a lot, but like mainly I do white.
Okay, makes it because it's like more clean. You can kind of match it with everything, right? Absolutely. I think black is kind of like that too, right? You can kind of like do anything. Yeah, exactly. Have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before? You ever never heard of it? Okay, so it's like when you go see a podiatrist, right? Specialist of the foot. They basically take a look at your feet to like make sure like your toenails grow correctly. They check your like toe alignment to make sure your toe alignment's right. They check your feet for like dead skin, fungus, and they do all the work there with like medical grade equipment. It's like the cleanest possible like way of getting a pedicure that you could actually get. Now they don't do like colors, but they do like clear coats that like just make your feet look healthy. Yeah. Exactly. What are your thoughts about that? Like if you could go see somebody like that who could give you insight into like what's happening with your feet, they could tell you like, hey, this is what's happening. You should do this or do that. How would you feel? Okay, so that would be something that you like. Let's say somebody gave you, somebody gave you a gift certificate to go to somebody like that. You would go.
Yeah.
Okay. Go check it out. Dope. How often do you wear like open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops, things like that?
Not like too frequent to be honest. It's mainly like when I'm at home, just because like at work we can't really have open toe. Yeah. You gotta keep them closed. Yeah. And then my days off and shit, you know.
Oh, okay. So when you going out, like maybe if you're going out to like go to a party or something, you might wear something like that. Okay. So all depends on like where you're going, the scenarios. Yeah. Okay. How often do you go barefoot? Do you ever do barefoot?
Like nothing?
Yeah, no shoes. You don't ever do that? Are you one of those people who are like, man, I don't want my feet touching the ground when I'm getting dirty?
Yeah.
I mean, quite a few people like that. Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of like earthing and grounding before? Does that sound familiar to you? It's like going barefoot in like grass, dirt, sand. Okay. It's like basically people do that to like, it's like a meditative type thing. Like you do that. Let's say you had a long day at work, right? You're like, man, damn, everything at work was like terrible. That's something you could do. You could just go out to your grass, just stand there. And what you're supposed to do in that moment is just focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on what happened before. Don't focus on like anything happened afterwards. Just like in this moment right now, I feel the grass against my feet. Like it feels soft. It feels like whatever it is, you just try to find ways to stay in that moment. What are your thoughts about like maybe trying something like that? Because you said you don't really do it that often. Would that be something you would look into? I think it would be good for you because you said you're somebody who reacts to a lot of things. Like so I'm reacting like
meditating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that too, like the beach and the sand and stuff like that.
Yeah, because especially like sand is like exfoliating and you know it's from the like you get it pushed in from the ocean and so you're kind of getting some water in there too. You get like a little bit of everything. So definitely something that's interesting. All right. So now in this moment right now, can we see what your feet look like? Yeah, you about to go to the gym? Or like, can we get you to? Is that something that? Is there a reason why you're like, nah? Is it because you're going to the gym, or is there other reasons?
Yeah, it's just that, like, I'm kind of like, haven't really showered. I'm about to shower once I get out.
Okay. So we're not too worried about this. So let me kind of give you the mental health. I want to talk to you about the mental health that got me started in my channel, okay? And then I want to swing back around, see how you feel, okay? So during quarantine, I was watching another guy's channel. And his channel, he was talking about exposure therapy. Are you familiar with that? You ever heard of that before? So it's, for example, let's say in certain situations or scenarios you feel uncomfortable. You're like, I'm not going to do this because I feel like it's going to make me feel like this, right? For example, you could go to a theme park, but I'm not getting on no rides because, like, it makes me feel like, anxious or whatever it is, right? Therapists will tell you, like, hey, go out and do that. Like, do that over and do it over again. Like, with the mentality being, like, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it, right? You never fully get over that emotion. Like, you're always going to feel a little nervous, but you'll start to learn to ask yourself, like, is anything happening here? Like, is anything threatening my life? Anything threatening my safety? And if not, then, like, what are you really worried about? Like, what's really going on in your mind? Like, what's making you, like, stop from moving? Yeah. Exactly. So when I heard that, I was like, damn, like, I've overthought many situations in my life. Like, I'm a chronic overthinker. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to get better at, like, making snap decisions. And, like, just, like, sometimes everything doesn't require you to overthink it. Just move forward. Like, live with the decision. Like, hey, I'm going to do this, and whatever happens, happens. And so I was like, with all the women out there, you've seen, like, women becoming foot models and getting into that. That's a new thing. It's like, how would it be if I just approached a random woman who I just met? Like, I don't know you. I don't know you. Yeah. Can I get you out of your comfort? Exactly. Well, can I get you out of your comfort zone? Like, because I know sometimes people are, like, comfortable and they're like, well, I'm self-conscious, or I feel like this, and, like, I don't want to do that. Like, so it's like, but can you get out of that comfort zone just to practice some of that exposure therapy to see what it feels like? Do you feel uncomfortable in the moment, or do you not? Can you continue to be comfortable? Because we've been talking now for 12 minutes? And, like, was there any uncomfortability before I asked that question or anything? Or were you just kind of like, cool little conversation? Exactly. So my thing is, can you continue to be that way, or do you get to a point where you're like, I can't move no further. I'm right here. I'm done. Yeah. So, like, that's my question to you. Like, first of all, how do you feel about what I'm asking, like, in terms of my channel, practicing exposure therapy? Is that something you can practice in this moment? Can we get you out of your comfort zone, or what are your thoughts? Yeah.
So it is kind of like a little, like,
it's a little uncomfortable because you're like, damn. Plus, nobody's ever asked you that before, right? I'm pretty sure. So that's my thing. Can you get out of that and just be like, in the moment, we're in this moment, we're having a conversation. Can you just be like, fuck it, let's just see what happens? Yeah. Cool. All right. So can I have you take your shoes off then? And then I'm gonna just have you, if you can, just kind of scoot back, like, as far as you can that way. Cool. And then just take your shoes off, and then. Okay, that's cool. Get you to do one. What size shoe do you wear? Leave your sock on.
A 9?
Oh, okay. Size 9. Do your sizes vary? I'm gonna have you put your foot up here. Right here. Do your sizes vary depending on the type of shoe you're wearing? Like, if you're wearing, like, a sandal, a heel, is it like bigger or smaller, something like that? Because usually it changes for most people depending on that type of shoe.
Are like the wider ones, like, it would probably be like one size.
You gotta go one size up, right? Just to, like, keep that space in there. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, like, you have some really nice feet. Like, you have, let me see. I don't know if you know, there's, like, different toe alignments for different people. So, like,
I know. It's like one is.
Yeah. So, like, if you have one toe, so if your bigger toe is bigger, right? They call that what's called the Egyptian toe alignment. So it looks like you have the Grecian toe alignment, which your second toe is bigger, right? It's like a little bit longer than the rest of the toes. So that's like a Greek toe. So I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but that's what that's called. I don't know. Yeah, so it's just different types of feet. Like, if your foot is, like, more square, like, it's like kind of like all the toes are, like, the same size. Yeah. They call that, like, a beggar's foot. Like, it's like just different kinds. They have, like, a Roman one. They have some for, like, people who are. And shit, exactly. So you might have some of that in you. Absolutely. Can we see the bottom of your foot? Can I just have you maybe put it up here so that we can just see the bottom? Yeah. Okay. All right. So you have really nice. So let me ask you this. At first you were like, I don't know. Oh, can you leave it up? We're going to go through one more exercise. So at first you were like, I don't know, I feel a little uncomfortable. It's like I'm about to go to the gym. But, like, in this moment, did anything bad happen? How are you feeling? Get out of your comfort zone? Absolutely. Yeah, but don't worry, like, nothing bad is happening. Most people are probably not even paying attention to you. They don't know what's going on or nothing like that. So let's talk about reflexology. Okay, now let's get up out of here. So reflexology is all about the different, like, pressure points, right? You have in your hands and your feet. Those pressure points, like, connect to, like, different parts of your body. So let's say, for example, through, like, massage, through acupuncture, acupressure, you can, like, alleviate stress and tension to various parts of your body. So I don't know if you ever heard, but like for people who have migraines, right? They get migraines a lot. There's actually a portion of your hands and your feet you can massage that alleviates the tension you feel in those moments. You heard of that before? There's also a piercing you can get in your ear too, does the same thing. So what are your thoughts kind of like, are you more familiar with it now that I kind of like discussed it? What are your thoughts about like how like reflexology can kind of help your body? It can help you like heal and stuff. How do you feel with that?
Like,
Absolutely.
I think hella people should do it. Like even just yoga and shit like that, like stretches that could just help overall, you know? Man, I met a girl last week who she's like a yoga instructor, and she was telling me about like there's like a certain type of, I think it's called a yin. It's called a yin yoga that you can do that's like stretching specifically your feet. It helps you create more dexterity, flexibility in your feet, because a lot of people don't know that's how you can avoid injuries. Sometimes like when you're like really stiff, your feet are stiff, like you tend to do things and you can get an injury from that. So absolutely. So usually when we get to this portion, we usually like to talk about sensitivity, right? How ticklish do you tend to be? Like when you go get pedicures, are you very ticklish when you go in? Ticklish as shit. Like when I go to the pedicures and then
they do like the pumice stone?
Yeah. I'm done for it.
All right.
I'm holding on.
I have a trick for you. Do you mind if we test it so I can show you what the trick is? Is that cool?
On my foot?
Yeah. I have a tool. I'm not using my hand. I have a tool. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna have you put your foot back up there, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the tool, and you just tell me like how sensitive it is. Where do you feel it at the most? Sound good? Cool. All right. All right, cool. Just put your foot here. All right, and then I just want you to tell me where you feel it at the most, like I said, and then we do both feet, but it's okay. We only got one right now, so just tell me where you feel it at, okay? That's at. Is it in a specific spot? Do you feel it anywhere?
Right there.
So like right in the middle, in your arch. Okay. What about when I go up? Is it anywhere in here? So just in your arch area, that's where you feel it the most. Now what I want you to do, I want you to wiggle your toes while I'm doing it. You tell me if you feel it more or less, okay? So wiggle. You feel it more or less? Less. Do you know why? So that's part of it, right? So, but also because you're mentally thinking about like, move my foot, right? So it's like a distraction in a way. Yeah, exactly. But when you wiggle your toes, what it does, it moves the energy to a different place. So you can't feel in that specific spot where I'm doing it at. That's a little trick for you. So when you get your pedicures, they're doing the pumice, just wiggle your toes a little bit. That's it. All right, hold on one second. Got to get you to do a couple exercises. This is a test like dexterity and flexibility in your feet, okay? What I want you to do first, bend your toes, make a fist, tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Is that easy to do? Is that hard to do? Pretty easy? Yeah. Okay, relax. Spread your toes, tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Easy, hard, easy. Okay, last thing, wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. Just tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping, anything happening. Like, feels pretty standard, nothing painful? Okay, cool, we're good. All right, so let's wrap up the interview now. In terms of my approach, right, when I came up to you and I said, hey, can I interview you for my channel? How did you feel my approach was? Was it good? Was it bad? What did you think about it?
You didn't come out weird or anything like that. I was just like, okay, he's just doing his
thing. Yeah, absolutely. So like, why not? Absolutely. In terms of the interview, right, from start to finish, did you see how everything was going in line? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new from the information? Yeah, you just learned this, right? You're like, it's a trick. I gotta use it. Next pedicure, go use that. Absolutely. The last thing I always ask, right? Something that you can share on my channel. Maybe it's something that you've learned in life, something that's like somebody shared with you that you can say to my channel that could be helpful. Just something that can help them out.
You can literally have anything you want in this life. Like, you literally just gotta go chase that shit. Like, don't let anything stop you. Don't let anybody tell you not to do it. Do it. Like, that's exactly when you do it. When everybody against you, that's exactly when you do it.
100%. And one of the things I love, so I started listening to this. I remember Kendrick's album came out. Count Me Out. It's like one of my favorite. It's like an anthem for me this year because I feel like a lot of people sometimes will count you out of things. And it's like you gotta like keep pushing yourself because it doesn't matter what anybody else says, right? Like it just matters what you think. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you stopping to do this interview with us. All right. And we hope that you have a great one, okay? All right.